Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. It is Wednesday, so that means it's time for a lucky dip. Let me see. It looked like my camera was a little off, but it's I think it's because this is curving upwards. Anyway, so lucky dip for anyone who has not seen one before, either on my channel or just in general, is where you take from a whole bunch of stuff, some random items, and then use them. So in my case, I've got all these random art supplies that I've collected over the years from like blind box subscriptions or other blind boxes, maybe not subscriptions, and gifts from friends, and just random stuff that I like that doesn't really fit into my main art stuff. And then I choose 4 items, 4 because 4 is my favorite single digit number, and then I make an art piece with them. This time, however, I could not find the Pentalic soft pastels that I drew here at the bottom, and that's why I'm getting started like 15 minutes late with my live stream here, because I was like looking everywhere for them. I feel like it's not the kind of thing I would have just given away, but I can't find it. And the other 3 remaining items work pretty good together. So instead of wasting more time by picking another item and trying to find that one, I'm just going to do 3 items today. And then hopefully I can find these pastels, because it was just, I can remember it was just like a little box with like 4 little pastel sticks in it. That's all it was. Because I've gotten, even without those white pastels, I got this white gouache, but I also got a black ink pen. So before I introduce properly the items that I randomly pulled, I am going to use this gray paper sketchbook, because as you can see, I have done lots of like black and white charcoal drawings on this paper. And so it's just really good. I have a brown one too, but I felt like doing gray. So we'll see about the one non-black and white colored item that I have, which is this pen. So let's just go through and see what I do. The first thing that I drew, even before that, oh, Exie, hello! How are you? Great to see you. Let's see. Oh, this Holbein gouache. No, wait. I'm going back. So many things happened all at once in my mind. Okay. So actually, I drew these numbers last month. That's why I have 2 dates here. Because I got confused about what day it was, and I was like, oh, it's time for a lucky dip, and I started picking items. And I was like, wait a minute, it's Friday. So I was like, well, I already wrote on this paper and everything. I had written the numbers but not gotten to actually getting the items out. So that's what I did today. So I still didn't know exactly what I was gonna get today. I just pulled the numbers last month. So finally I get to see what it is. So the first thing was this gouache, Holbein acrylic gouache, which is, I have mixed feelings about this because I much prefer watercolor to acrylic or oil, because it's so easy to clean up, and you can get it wet again, and then you can reuse it, any leftovers. And gouache originally is just opaque watercolor. So this kind of bothers me that it's called gouache, but it's acrylic. So it's got all the problems of acrylic. Like if you leave it on, so I'm going to have to wash this palette immediately after this session today, because if you leave it on, it will get stuck on there, because acrylic is plastic. And so I have some plastic palettes that were essentially ruined because I had big blobs because I didn't realize that it was acrylic. I was like, gouache, yay! But now I know what it is, so I can deal with it. I just wish it was regular watercolor, not acrylic. Anyway, so that's the first thing I got. Oh, Exie says, I'm doing all right. Thank you. How about you? I'm doing pretty good. My neck issue from Monday is feeling a lot better. Not 100%. It's still bothering me, but so much better compared to Monday. So I'm feeling like emotionally I'm feeling just as good as Monday, but physically I'm feeling much better than Monday. So I'm overall, when you put those things together, I'm actually doing even better. Even better than Monday. Hooray! That's not always the case. A lot of people, it's downhill through the work week. Anything fun going on with you today? Are you going to be working on a project again? Did you get your Redbubble store all set up from last time? The next thing on the list for my Lucky Dip is this Zig Cocoito pen. This is such an old item. Not as old as this Gouache, actually, because the number is 173 for this. The Gouache is 51, so that means this is quite a bit older. But this is still old enough. This used to say, like, Cocoito on it and stuff. It used to have the label that said, like, what the brand was. And now it's just, like, a line of ink, sort of just, it's been totally worn off. And I don't know if this is actually the original pen insert that this came with, because this is actually a cool system where you can pick the body that you like. So this is just what I got. I would not have picked this blue color. Blue is not my favorite color, but it was a random item. But what's cool about this system is that you can buy you buy this part separate, and then you just pick whatever thing that you want to put in there. So there's all kinds of different colors, there's all kinds of different tips. So it could be brush tip or like a fine liner or all kinds of different stuff and different colors and stuff. And so you can just keep refilling this body with different inserts. So I don't necessarily have to use this particular one. I actually got a different one in a Mito in a box recently. There's just an example. And also you can see how this is what when it's new, it has this right here on here, but it got all worn off. This one was a special edition with little decorations on it, so it's like bears with honey. But I don't think I put this on my list because, again, you can just change it to whatever you want, so it's kind of a weird art supply. But I got it in an art snacks box or something, so that's why I put it on there. Oh, Exy says, it's all set up. Nice. Currently working on an Instagram project. Oh, a created page will post typography posters every day. Wow. So what kind of stuff are you going to put? So typography posters, what is it going to be, just showing off the typography itself? And so it'll have just like the lorem ipsum thing, like nonsense words in there? Or are you going to do like movie quotes or inspirational sayings or something like that? Is there going to be a theme to what the typography says? So the last thing that I could actually find, and this was tough for me to find too because it's a brush pen, but I had it in my markers container, so I couldn't find it for the longest time. So another reason why I was late getting started. So where is this thing? I know I would have it. It's this Fudenosuke. It's by Tombow. It's a brush pen, and it's in the color red, and that was another thing that made it difficult for me to find, because for some reason when I put it in my spreadsheet I did not say what color it was, so I just assumed it would be a black pen, but no, it is red. So hopefully this color works well on this paper, but we'll find out in a second. I was thinking that I might need some other thing. I've prepared what I could think of. I got my water here, my palette, a paper towel to wipe my brushes, and I've got some brushes here. What else? Oh, I remember, because I've been doing the How to Draw Manga Pose reference book. That's what I still needed. Okay, I got it. Let's see. What pose are we on? And even though I'm late, we still have 35 minutes left, so maybe I can still get this whole thing done by my normal stopping time. Oh, I think, yeah, so this is the one we did last time. So now we're on Jump to It. So this is a fun, energetic pose. What the heck? Wow. And it's like some sort of Yurei girl or something. And she's got the little ghosties, little foxfire thingies. Man, sometimes my words fail me. I'm like, here's the thing, or I'm like, I cannot say what I'm thinking. The word won't come to me. Okay, so I'm thinking about, I will save going over this for when I'm actually ready to go over it. For now, I'm just going to set this to the side and clip it open. Oh, wait, I'll clip it so that I'm not going to cover up the words, though, so that I can read them. There's that. And this side. Clip it down here. Oh, my neck is a lot better, but it's still not 100% better. So when I'm looking over to the right, that's when it bothers me the most. So I'm trying to look over here to do this clip. It's like, dang, stupid neck, what happened to you? I'm glad it's getting better, though. I've been trying to take it easy. Okay, so let's get to a clean sheet of paper. And, let's see. I don't care that much about this drawing. This is one of those drawings where you put a bunch of charcoal down first and then you erase away to create a drawing. So that's what this was. But I'm thinking about whether I want to draw on the back of it for my test sheet. And I don't really want to, so I'm going to skip a sheet so that I can do the test sheet on this side and then have the drawing on this side. I'm not sure which way would be the best fit for this pose, though. It's kind of a square pose, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It'll just be really small. Or I guess I could just do half of the pose and cut the legs off, and then that way. But then it's jumping, so it's not, cutting the legs off is kind of, well, I'll think about it. Let's do these. I'll think about it while I'm doing these little swatches. I want to line it up nice. Close enough. Okay. Oh, I'm going with song names for now, but quotes would be nice as well, because I will be doing this every day. I can execute every idea. Oh yeah, that's true. If you do it every day, indefinitely, there's all kinds of things you could do. But, song names is good too, because especially if somebody knows the song, that's like if they know the song name in itself will inspire their memories of it and their feelings about it. And so matching the typography to that feeling for the songs would be, I think it would be an effective display of typography. Well, this red is all right on this. It's a bit dry on this paper, but it shows up, and so that's all that really matters. So let me put Hudenosuke. And it's good if I'm just writing, which makes sense because it's a brush pen. It's not a marker, even though I put it in my marker kit. So next is this Zig Coco Iro pen with, originally it had the black extra fine brush tip, and I think that's what this is. And it also looked pretty empty, so I think it probably, I'm going to look at it again, it probably is the original tip that came with this. Okay, let's try it out. Yeah, this paper is just thirsty for ink, because this is kind of dry too. I mean, this first line made sense to be so thin because I haven't used this in ages, but okay, I'll put Zig Coco Iro. Both very similar when writing. Maybe this one is a little softer This one's a little firmer. Okay, and then finally, actually I think this is going to be a nice little combo. Zig, the black and the red. Reverse what I said with what I pointed to, but... Ooh. Also about happening exciting stuff. I applied after graduate botanic program a couple weeks ago. Wasn't hopeful because my major was cinema. Oh, right. I remember you said that. But I got an interview invite. Nice. From one of the best universities. What? Heck yes. What? Oh, no. But I won't go because it's on the other side of the country. Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Still, it made my hopes higher for closer universities. Oh, well, that's good, though. Oh, it's too bad you couldn't go. One of the best universities? That would have been awesome. But I know how that is because that happened for me as well when I first was looking into universities, like right after graduating high school. I got as far as the phone interview with one of the, I think it's called Art Academy or something. It's called the Art Institute, and they have campuses across the country here, and it would have been amazing. At the time, I was thinking of going into animation, so it's probably for the best anyway, because animation requires, or at least what I would have wanted to do, which is hand-drawn animation, requires a lot of drawing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm like, ugh. That's not what I like to do. So I like illustration because it's like one image. And maybe I do draw the same thing over and over, but that's to create the final picture, not to like string all those images together in a row. So, anyway, similar thing happened to me because I got, for me, it wasn't the distance necessarily. That was part of it because it would have been all the way in Washington, and I still live in Idaho. So it's like a whole state over. But it was also just crazy expensive. So, but yeah, it sucks that you can't go, but, yeah, I hope that you get into a program that's more nearby because I remember you told me the reason why you want to go, or at least one of the reasons why, and I really hope that you're able to, get into a program. Remembering what you said before. Wow, that's so exciting though. I'm so glad that you were able to get like some, like, what is it? Yeah, like you said, it's a hope for, even if this one didn't work out, it's gonna work out. So, yeah, I really hope I'll be looking forward to some more news, and you can let me know if you want to. You don't have to. Of course. Yeah, that is so exciting. Wow. I feel so excited for you. So I remember it seemed like it was a worry. It was a worry. Again, words failing me again. Still, I think you know what I mean. It's good. It's very good. Trying to write with this. It's actually not bad writing with this. Holbein. Gouache. G-O-A. Oh, nope, there's a U. A go-a. C. I think it's a French word or something, so it's kind of hard to spell. As a native English speaker, French words are kind of hard to spell. I do like learning them, though. I feel great when I learn a word that's difficult to spell. Like onomatopoeia. I can spell that word with no trouble. That's because I made it a project. Of course, I'll let you know. Oh, great. Yay! I'm looking forward to more good news. Plus, doing a botanic program is just super cool. I love science stuff, so that'd be cool. You get into there, and then you can give me updates about what cool thing did you learn today, or what experiments did you do, or whatever. That'd be really cool. Okay, so I just thought of something else to try, and that is, how well does the gouache cover up these ink pens? let's try that next. And then I think I'll try my big brush and see what it's like when I do a really big swatch of the gouache. And then I'll be done with testing. I'll just get going on the main drawing. Covers it up pretty well. You can still see through a little bit, and it looks like it's merging a little bit with the ink, so that it's like tinted red a little bit, and over here it's tinted black a little bit. Oh, but especially if you put a second layer on, covers it quite well. Okay. Oh, I guess I'll also do a little patch and see if I can draw on it with the... I'll try to make it really smooth though. If I can draw on it with the pens, just to see what my options are. Make it nice and smooth. Okay, while that's drying, I'll try doing a big blotch. Or at least just using, maybe not a blotch, but just using the white gouache on the, use the white gouache on this big brush. That's what I'm trying to get at. I've got like one little, okay, I think I got it. There was one little hair from the brush sticking up like, whoop. Wait, you can't see what I was doing. So the brush is sticking out this way, but there was a hair like curling like this. So. But I think I got it. Okay. And we'll see what it's like when I use the big brush. Ooh, nice. Okay. That's enough testing. I gotta remember later to change the title of this, because I usually put four random supply. What do I put? I'm looking at my own title. 4 random art supplies. So that if anybody sees the title and they're like, what the heck is a lucky dip? So hopefully that would explain what it is. And then, but since I'm only using 3 this time, I'm gonna change it later. Oh, Satoita, hello! Yay! I'm glad to see you again. Wow, you guys. Awesome. I get to hang out with you 2 out of 3 so far. Yay! 2 out of 3 live streams so far this week. So, how's it going, Satoita? Are you working again right now? Driving? Wait, you don't drive on the weekdays, right? Or except for Monday? Oh, I can't remember. Well, I have a hard enough time remembering my own schedule, so. Let's see. I think this patch of gouache is dry. Ooh, it's a little cool and tacky, which usually indicates that it's still a bit wet. So, because it looks dry, but I won't be able to do the experiment properly if it's not fully dry. So I'll get my little fan and fan it off just to be sure. Just to be sure it's dry. Comparing it to the paper next to it. Touching the splotch and then touching the paper. It's at least dry enough that nothing is coming off on my finger. So I'll call that good. Now let's see. I've been doing red first. Let's do red first again. Well, I can write on it. It seems alright. Well, let me look at the tip. Make sure that there was nothing that came off on. No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like any paint came off onto the tip, so that's good. I guess I'll check this one too. Might show up better on this one because it's a black ink. But nope, I don't see anything on this one either. So that's another thing I could do. I think that's a cool idea actually. Although I don't want to take too long either since I got started late. This thickest gouache up here is still still wet, so I'm just gonna try to squish everything up. I was thinking about flipping this over, but I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I'll just move this over here, and then I'll move this here. There. Okay, so I suppose I'll do the sketching with this red one. Yeah. I'll do the sketching with the red one. I'm thinking maybe I'll look at this. Because for time's sake, I'm just going to do like I have been recently and just kind of copy the shading scheme and everything. So there's these really dark parts here. So maybe I'll use the gouache. But it's going to take a long time to paint so much. So maybe I'll make the hair and the main part of the kimono, make that white with the gouache, and then, okay, so let me go back to the beginning, what I'm thinking. I'm going to sketch this out with the red pen. Then I'll use the gouache to fill in white on the kimono and on the hair. And I guess I'll do these little ghosty things too. And then, on top of that, I will do outline with black, and then maybe I'll do like hatching or something on this dark part of the kimono so that it will look different from the background, because I'll just leave the skin and the background can stay, and maybe this sash too can stay the same, this gray color. So I don't know if that makes sense, but now I know what I'm going to do with these 3 items. What order I'm going to use them in, basically. Oh, Satuita, I'm doing well. Not driving today. Just got back from a walk. Ooh, nice. It seems like it's a pretty good, even for me, it seems like, I'm looking out the window right now. Seems like a nice day for a walk. 'Cause, you know, I hate being in the sun. So I like seeing that it's getting cloudy again. It was nice and cloudy this morning. And then it got sunny and I was like, and now I'm like, yay, it's all dark again. And not super dark though. I wish it would rain again. I was loving the rain the last couple days. Okay, so I will read you all about this pose. What are its focus points? It says, so the title is Jump to It. About this pose: joyous and buoyant, upward motion, arms wide open, knees pointed forward, lower legs lifted. And then it's got a line to the neck. Very little of the neck needs to be drawn, especially since the clothing will fly up toward the chin. Yeah, that's true. So when you're jumping, especially if your body is falling down, but the air is keeping the clothes up for a second. And it says, bent kneecaps should be somewhat knobby rather than perfectly round. That's true. Knees are very interesting mechanisms. The more I draw, the more I look at, like, I don't even have to be drawing it, but as I've drawn more of the human body, then when I look at the human body, especially my own, I'm like, wow, this is not how, I didn't realize that my knees, like, are flat, or, you know, something like that. So that's a good point. Okay, for a dynamic pose, be sure to draw the hair and clothing flying upward as the character jumps. The fists of both hands should be loose. Okay, so she's, oh, Chappie just barked in her sleep. She's having a little dream. Oh, there she goes again. Oh, there she goes. Oh, she's growling now. Oh, you heard it. Oh, what she's growling at in her sleep. She's just curled up in a small little, she's a little meow. She's having an exciting dream. Okay, so the last point was that the hands are in fists, but they're just like loose like wait, I'm not doing my hands so you can see. They're just more loose like this instead of, they're not like punching hands or angry hands. They're like woo, woo. Okay. Let's get started. Let's put those there and put this here and just try to organize the space so that it's both easy for me to work in but also easy for you guys to see what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay, so red pen first. It's gonna be kind of hard because this is a lot bigger than this. I'll just try to, in fact, I'm gonna do what I try to do, which is, this is the limit. So this is the head and the body, the upper part of the torso, and then the hips coming down, and then the legs. Oh, it got really smaller. That's okay. Okay, so legs, and then here's the knees, indication of the knees, and then the way they've got it drawn here, you can't even see the leg and foot from the other one. It's just completely hidden behind this. But then we've got this, and here's an ankle, and the foot is coming out like this. Okay, and then the arms. Okay, hold on. I gotta jump for a second. I can feel this. I gotta feel it for myself. Oh yeah, it's true. I don't know if you heard me jump, but I just jumped. I legit just jumped. Your shoulders, or at least my shoulders, do go up. The jump is like, the shoulders go whoop. Maybe that's, I've never been interested in having a camera on me because I want this to be about sharing my art. But that was something that maybe it would have been cool to have a camera. So I don't know what I look like either. Anyway, well, you guys heard it, so. Okay, so the shoulders go up when you jump. See, that's why these kind of books are good, because I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't think about that. But then I saw it here, and I'm like, is this really right? And it is. Okay, collarbones. And then the arms going out and going up. Out, and this one's not quite as far up. Okay. And I don't need to worry that much about the anatomy on these arms because they're almost entirely covered up by the kimono sleeves, so I don't worry about that too much. Okay, but the hands. Okay. Okay. Loose hands. Loose, jumpy hands. Wee. Wee. Okay. I'm doing my arms. So that the drawing has one thumb sticking out. My thumbs are not sticking out when I go with my arms. So I'm just going to do kind of like this on both hands. Okay, thumbs need to be on the inside. So this is this hand, and then I've got to just think of it opposite for this one. So let's see. And I think they'd be turned in a little bit. So there's the thumb, and then it's just loose, and then the fingies are going up, and then they go down a little bit. For each finger, it goes down a little bit more. Yeah, okay. So here's the palm of the hand, and then thumbs are on the inside. I just said it and I already forgot. And it's so weird when, especially because I'm using ink, it still happens to me that I will draw the hands the wrong way. I'm like, no, they have the opposite. Their hands are switched. The thumbs are the wrong way, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so I'll get a little bit more specific with the head now. And the ears. good enough before I start adding stuff. So, let's see, chest, and it curves down and then meets hips there, and then here's the back is showing more on that side. And then hips coming out into thighs, and then those go down there, and this. Alright, they said the knees need to be actually kind of angular, not roundy, which is totally true. That's something I've noticed before I did this book, so I 100% believe them when they're saying that. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm gonna just draw these. This is since you can't see it, but I'm drawing this outfit on now. Man, I'm worried about drawing it too big and I draw it way smaller. Okay, so let's see. So there's like a bow right here at the bottom of the chest. I'm going to draw it a bit different. The way this bow is tied in this picture, I'm not understanding what it's trying to do. So I'm just going to do my own thing a little bit. But it's got these little tails flying up. Yeah, nice. That's good. And then it wraps around. It's like basically it's an obi. Not really a traditional style one. It's a fantasy one. And then this is also not a traditional style kimono. There is like a skirt. And it's flying up too. And so you can see in under it a little bit because of it flying up. And then that also helps give a sense that the character jumped up above your line of sight, which would also result in the same kind of thing. Okay, and then aside from the skirt, there's the kimono. Okay. I'm saying this out loud not just to have something going on my stream in an auditory sense, but also to help me understand what I'm seeing. So the kimono is coming out like this. There we go. Yeah. And then flying out like that. And then here's this. I'm trying to keep, it's getting a little confusing right here. I'm just trying to keep that. Keep it straight in my mind. What am I looking at? What am I drawing? There. So I drew these way high up like it said because the clothes are flying even higher up because the air. They're getting full of air, which is keeping it up even higher than the body. Okay. And then here's the other side. Flying open as well. And then I'm not going to do too much more on that because the sleeve on this side is covering this. So here's the sleeve opening. Same deal where it's flying up off the wrist. And then, so it comes off of this. And then, whoop, whoop. Oh man, suddenly I'm getting hungry. I had a snack, but it was just a chocolate. It was just a little chocolate truffle. So it wasn't that much food. It was a lot of calories, but very quickly digested, I guess. Most likely. I'm suddenly hungry. Hungry. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like the sleeve attaches right about here. So I'm going to do something a bit different than, because it feels like to me in this, yeah, I will display what I am analyzing. Feels like there's more cloth being drawn on this sleeve than on this sleeve, and I don't think it's just perspective. So I'm going to do my own thing and make the cloth seem even, at least to my eye. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Because I don't know, this might have been drawn based on a real outfit. But that's my prerogative. As the artist drawing at this moment, I can do whatever I want. So I'm changing that sleeve a bit. Okay, and here is the other sleeve. Here's the other sleeve opening. Trying to keep it light and fluffy to show the clothing rising up. Okay, so here it's actually kind of flying out. Yeah. And then there's some pulling of the cloth that's attached to the main body of it as well. Okay, is that everything except for like the head? Oh, the back of this. Oh, interesting. She has like leg guards on. I just noticed that. Okay. Well, I made some lines. You can barely tell, but I made some lines that kind of indicate that. Accidentally drew a bigger sleeve. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I'm not a published manga artist. And the people who drew these are, so who am I to say? But yeah, I think that's probably I still think that's probably what happened. Okay, here's the back of the kimono. Billowing out. And then they've got it with that it's lined on the back, on the inside as well. Okay. Now I just need to do the head. So draw these little happy eyes with some eyelashes. And just a tiny little dot for a nose. And okay, I gotta move this in order to get the mouth good, I think. Oh yeah, nice. Nice. Okay, there's just little tiny lines, indications of the teeth on the outside. Oh, thank you. It looks pretty great already. Thank you very much. I'm sure I've said this before, but I feel like I'm really learning a lot from doing these sort of master studies of manga drawings from these pose books. It's really helping me with my anime style drawing. Which is so ironic because that's what got me into art so much that I decided to make it my career. Was drawing anime stuff, but I never quite got the hang of it. I think it's because I didn't want to just copy. And now I'm finally self-confident enough to not worry about, like, copying is practice. As long as you're not saying that it's your own work, like, so it is your own work, but as long as you're not saying this is 100% my drawing. Like, as long as you're saying, oh, I did a study. And you did it for practice, not to try to pose as it's your own original work. Then that's actually, like, and also, in college I learned that that's actually how artists during the Renaissance period learned, was they had to make a whole bunch of copies of existing stuff. They didn't actually draw from life very much. They drew from, like, statues and other artists' work and copying the masters that they worked under and stuff like that. So there's, like, nothing to be ashamed of in copying. Copying as a learning tool. Well, that's my little rant. My little rant to my past self who felt so self-conscious about copying anything and felt so worried about having her own style. And now I know that, like, you don't even really get your own style until you just keep making a bunch of work, and then your style is just what happens. This is a coincidence. Okay, I made her hair, like, gigantic, but it is pretty big. I mean, look at this picture. It's pretty big, so I think I'm ready to go on to the black ink. I could do a little more on the hands with the red, but I don't want to jumble it up too much because it's a really small part. So I'm just going to try to get it right the first time with this black ink. So actually I will start over here. Oh, she has a really sharp finger right there. That's okay though. She can have whatever kind of finger she wants. One really sharp finger. I mean, she is like some sort of ghost person. She's got these little ghosty things flying next to her in the picture, so she can have sharp claws. And it matches her character. Ooh, I really like this. I like this, actually. Oh, no! I just remembered. I wanted to put the gouache on first. It's her power. Yes. She has powers in her hands. I don't know what kind of powers, but that's what she'll find out as she goes along on her hero's journey. I use this big brush, but I don't know. Maybe I want to use... I'll just go for it. I'll use the big brush on the kimono, and I'll use the smaller brush on her hair. Yikes, it's already so dry. And I don't want it too wet. This is not paper designed for wet media, but it's got to flow. It's got to flow. I'm gonna have to get some more of the gouache out of the tube because it uses so much. Although I guess the brush is sucked up a lot, so maybe I just need to keep getting the brush wet. That seems to be working so far. I'm a little worried. I hope I can... At least it's a porcelain palette, so I think it'll be easier to clean the acrylic gouache off than it was on my plastic palette where the gouache is just like a big clump and there's nothing I can do to get it off without wrecking the palette. I'm trying to make it smooth so that when I do the black ink on top it'll... Ooh, this is a really thin line right there. Boom, I did it. That's why I like round brush tips, because you can get that little teeny tiny, I think I said this on Monday, but yeah, you can get the teeny tiny marks, even though it's overall such a big brush. Wow, it's making her seem really ghost-like to have the super bright white kimono. In a lot of Asian cultures, white represents death, and especially with funerals, people are dressed in white kimono. And so it shows up in anime a lot, like if there's dead people that have come back from the dead, they might be wearing a white kimono, and that's why. So it makes her seem like related to supernatural or something. Because it's so bright white now. I was trying to preserve these lines that I drew to indicate the wrinkles, but it's just too hard, so I'm just gonna... I'll redraw them with the black ink. Oh, I missed this little... Oops, I got some on my fingy. No! And my other brush is running away. Okay. I gotta be careful. Getting so into it. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. This little section right here that I missed. That's what I was trying to do. There. It's the thought of it because I'm doing this section over here. That's the same. There. Yeah, this is turning out pretty cool. I like it. I think it would have been even better with those pastels, if those white pastels, if I had been able to find them. Well, maybe I did give them away. I looked in every place in here where I keep drawing tools and I couldn't find them. I think maybe if I did give them away, I might have been thinking that the only time I like to use charcoal or pastel or whatever is in pencil form. And I have white charcoal pencils, so maybe I did give them away because I didn't want to use the dirty, messy sticks. Because it's just like you hold it and then your hand is covered in it too. Okay. Just trying to smooth it out here. Yeah, maybe I don't need any more. Okay, this part is very convoluted. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what part is ribbon, which I want to stay gray. Okay, it's this part. Okay. Yep. Oh man, I can't believe I'm so hungry. I've been eating all day. I changed my schedule so I also have a morning snack. I guess it wasn't enough. Ooh, I'm looking forward to dinner though. We're having vegan bacon cheeseburgers with my favorite bacon brand, which is Ozo Bacon, which I'm worried about because their website is broken and they haven't updated their social media in months. I'm like, no, don't go away. It's my most favoriteest vegan bacon. It's so yummy. They got the texture right, they got the flavor right, without hurting any animals. Ah, it's so good. I hope that they're not, I hope that maybe they're just gearing up. Maybe they're so popular that they can't handle it. And so that's why they haven't been updating their... Or maybe they're like working on a new website or something like that. That would be good. Just please don't go away. Delicious vegan bacon. Oh. Satuita, I'm opposite. I prefer the stick so I can smudge it on the paper using my hand. Well, yeah, with your style of art. Yours is like almost completely opposite from mine in some ways. I also like using the entire side to fill in large areas. Doesn't make sense to use sticks for smaller pieces though. Yeah, for your art, it wouldn't make sense to use pencils. Like, maybe for little small details. But yeah. Yep. Maybe I gave them to you. I can't remember what happened to them. I'm also having vegan burgers. Yay! Vegan burger time. Nom, 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 nom. I don't think I've missed any parts that are meant to be white. I was looking one more time, but Okay, so I wanted to do her hair white too, and then it's interesting because it's making these shapes that are separate from the body. Like these shapes are just these blue shapes. Oh right, I was going to use a small brush so that I can make little small strokes with this. I'm trying to get this off of there. Oh, I hate messy stuff. And I gotta remember to wash this brush good when I'm done, because I don't want the acrylic to dry in it. I just rinse it out as good as possible right now. And time for the little brush. Yeah. Okay, at this point I need a little bit more gouache because it's so watery what's left in there. Not too much though, just a little tiny, there we go. Just something like that. I always like to squeeze the paint up to the top and then put the lid on. And then that way, there's not as much air in it to oxidate it and dry it out and stuff. At least that's my theory, so that it can retain as much moisture and last as long as possible. That's a tip from me today. Little art tool, paint storage tip. That's what that was. Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I can't wait. I'm not going to draw the little ghosties because it's taking so long to do this already. Just imagine that she is a ghostie with all of her white, deathly color. I mean, I know that ghosties don't take that long, but I always say that. I'm like, oh, it won't take that long, and then it takes like an extra 15 minutes. Ugh, I'm too hungry to do it. I'm so hungry. Man, I am shockingly hungry. It's not like I mean, I guess I have done a lot today mentally. I was gonna say I haven't done much because since my arm and neck are still bothering me, I haven't been doing anything other than yoga in the morning. And for yoga, I just do stretching type yoga. So I've not been physically demanding of myself, but I did my full hour of JLPT study and I worked on my December roundup blog post for at least an hour, I think an hour and a half actually. And now I'm working on this, which is another mental activity, so I think that that's what it is. I think this is going to look really cool with the black ink on top once I get all this washed down. I mean, even with the red poking through, it's just so, I don't know, different. It's different looking. Ooh, let's do the teeth too. Make her teeth white too. And the little highlights in her eyes. Okay, good. Yay. Done with the gouache. I'm gonna rinse this brush out super good. No acrylic drying in my brushes. Okay, I think that's good because no acrylic spots came off when I tapped it on the towel. So I'm done with those. So all I need to do is this black ink pen, which I had started. But I'm going to go to this side now because this was the first thing I painted. And so it should probably be dry by now. Wow, now that this black pen has been warmed up, it's much juicier than the red one. Ah, looks cool. Looks cool. Oh, I gotta be careful. The hair was the last thing I did. Let's keep going downward. Here's this bow. Mm-hmm. This kind of thing is really fun. This kind of... What is the word? Combining and drawing in this style, combining these kind of materials is kind of a relief because it's all scraggly and scratchy anyway, so I don't feel like I have to worry that much about whether this line is perfectly lined up or whatever. I can just draw more freely. Oh wow, I'm cooking dry beans in the slow cooker, so the whole place smells like beans. 1 pound of dry beans costs as much as 1 can of beans, but you get 4 times more at least. Oh, so they were dry, but you're cooking them in like water or something now to like rehydrate them? What kind of beans? I don't like all beans, but I like a lot of beans. Garbanzo beans or pinto beans. What do they use in baked beans? Is that pinto beans? That's one of my faves. Other beans I don't like at all, like lima beans. Ugh. I don't like lima beans. I don't like the beans that are really hard. I don't know, maybe it's just the cooking style. But I don't like black beans either. I'll eat them. It's not like with eggs where my whole life the flavor is just horrible and I can't eat them. But black beans, pinto beans though. I'll eat all the pinto beans. You can give me all the pinto beans. Cooking from dry. Slow cooker cookbook has lots of tips for food prep there. Pinto beans. Yes! The most delicious of beans. Well, except for adzuki beans, but those are sweet beans, so that's different. Okay. I gotta make sure I don't draw too many toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is something that has happened to me in the past too. I'm just like beep, 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 and then there's like 7 toes. Woo! I almost did it because I was thinking about delicious beans. Delicious pinto beans. Especially if they're made into baked beans. I love there's this canned baked bean brand that has the, what am I trying to say? Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper baked beans. So good. I'm looking at the reference image to see where some sensical lines would go for wrinkles. And I think that is good. It's getting a little bit difficult to ensure that I haven't missed anything, but I don't think I have. Redrawing some of these black lines over here because I painted over them. got everything done except for the head and the face. Okay, I've got to turn this again to get the facial features. Little dot for a nose. Okay, all I have left to do is I wanted to use, I was going to use hatching, but I think I can just fill this in because this pen kind of got activated or something, and now it's quite juicy, so I'm just fill this in with black for these accents on the clothing. And then it'll be done! Yay! Okay, top part done. So it's basically just, it's just on the kimono. It's not on the obi or anything else. I wonder if this is going through. Nope. Wow, yeah, it looks really good with this dark black, like really thick line of dark black. Black is dark. Thick line of a dark thing next to the really white, white gouache paint. It's looking really good. It's even better than I imagined. Pen's starting to dry up a little bit. Not terribly, but it's definitely not like... It was almost leaking ink a little bit ago before I started doing these really big patches. I think as it wraps around the back, I'll just do some hatching and not make it all the way black. So I'll have it go around the bottom a bit. But then I'll just do, and I'll do it for the bottom part of the outer kimono as well. Just a little bit like that. So that it has a sense of which is in front and which is behind. Because if it's all black, then it kind of just melds together. Whoops, this was a line right there. Okay. Yay! I think that that is good. Well, maybe, now I'm looking at it, I'm going to use the red pen again to do some hatching on the clothing, because like right here it makes it look like there's that it's the same as the background, but I want it to be obvious that it's also part of the clothing, but I don't want it to be the same. What is the word? I don't want it to be just as dark as the black ink. I still want it to be, oh yeah, that looks really good, yay! So I'm going to do it inside of these sleeves as well. Anywhere where it might not be clear that it's not meant to be part of the background. Yay, that looks good. Oh, almost 15 minutes over, so let's see. I was gonna sign it. I don't think I always sign these, but I feel like signing this one today. 2023, first lucky dip of 2023. Here is the close-up. Just make sure this is good. It focused on its own. Hooray! So I used the Holbein acrylic gouache, that's the white, and then I used the Zig Cocoa Ito pen with some sort of black ink insert, and then the Tombow Hudenosuke pen, which is the red one. And then the fourth item that I drew I could not find and I didn't use it. So it was only 3 items this time, but I think it worked out really nice. Like, these are my 3 favorite colors. Well, instead of white, silver, but this is like this is a me color scheme, so. Looks perfect, thank you. Looks cool with the red. Yeah, I'm really glad that I got, I always get like blue and stuff, like my least favorite color, and then like, it's so nice when a red thing shows up. Oh, okay. It's finally time for me to eat some vegan burgers. Hooray! I'll be back on Friday for Chibi Friday. I'm going to try to get my Orca into the computer so I can do some digital work on it. So that's what I will be working on then. Hopefully see you on Friday, but if not, it was great to talk to you guys today, and that's it for now. Thank you for watching.